What up, all my tech mexers out there? We've got a bit of a different video for you here today. As you know, I have been torturing myself daily to get the Rings of Power meme edits out there on my channel, and it has been quite exhausting. But you guys really seem to like them, so I promise I won't stop. But because I've been having to go back and rewatch these episodes, sometimes in slow motion to get certain shots, I've noticed a couple of things along the way, and I thought that I would share one in particular with you that I found very interesting. Now, some people might complain that this is nitpicking, and yes, they'd be correct. Do I care? No. The reason being is that this one seemingly innocuous problem with the show is actually emblematic of a much bigger systematic problem with the show in its entirety. And that problem is Amazon thinks that you are stupid. It thinks that its core audience is so dumb that it finds it necessary to repeat information ad nauseum. They don't just tell you something once, they tell you something 5 times. They beat you over the head with it to make sure that you can follow along with the plot. So, I'm going to show you a scene from the show that includes an insane instance of the show just not trusting its audience to be able to follow things. And let's see if you can guess what it is. Here we go.
He drew this to record the tower's location.
Wait a moment. I must be blind. This is no sigil.
Did you catch that? Let me play it back again with the specific segment.
This is no sigil.
Do you see it now? Do you see the clue?
A clue!
Where?
On your notebook.
Oh, the map!
I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map!
Yeah. If you look closely here, you might notice that the piece of paper that Galadriel is holding is CGI. It's not real. How do I know that, you ask? Because I can tell. Look at the feathering around her fingers as she moves. Ooh. See how it's a little bit blurry and the coloring is a little bit off and there's not really like a good shadow where her hand should be? Yes, that's because the thing that she was originally holding has been replaced with a CGI piece of paper. You can see it kind of changing its shape as she moves because the tracking isn't quite perfect. So now the question is, why would Amazon spend time and money creating a CGI piece of paper? Oh, it's because they think you're stupid. Notice what they've got going on right here? Yeah. It's the sigil that Galadriel has been carrying around for the past 2 episodes. The sigil that they've beaten us over the head with constantly. And even though they've done that ad nauseum, they thought that we might forget what it looks like. Because in the original shot, she's holding a real piece of paper, and we probably wouldn't have been able to see the ink through the paper as we do now. You can also see that the symbol is very smooth here, but when she's holding it from the other side, it's clearly faded, and the paper looks completely different. So Amazon thinks that you are so stupid that for this
This is no sigil.
3-second scene, they thought you might forget what it looked like. So much so that they had to replace the physical piece of paper with a CGI piece of paper. And that's not all. Listen to the audio.
This is no sigil.
Oh, did you catch that? Let's play it back in context.
Wait a moment. I must be blind. This is no sigil.
You hear the difference? That's called ADR, Automated Dialogue Replacement. That is when you go into a sound booth after your footage has been recorded and re-record dialogue that will be played over the original dialogue. Because in the original scene, there was no dialogue. And Amazon thinks you're so stupid, they had to add in the line, wait a minute, this is no sigil, while showing you the sigil through the piece of paper. The original scene should have played out like this.
Wait a moment. I must be blind.
But apparently, that was too subtle. You had to add in the line, "This is no sigil." We get it. We don't need you to hold our hand. And before you complain about it in the comments, you can absolutely tell that this is 100% ADR because the audio quality and the reverb is vastly different. And also, her mouth doesn't move.
This is no sigil.
Yeah, look at her jaw and her cheek. It's not moving, which is another reason why they had to replace the piece of paper with CGI. They had to make it bigger so it would cover up her mouth. It's so pathetic. And yes, I 100% admit this is a little bit nitpicky, but it is part of a much bigger serious problem. If you set aside the complete desecration of Tolkien's lore and all of the other plot holes, one of this show's biggest problems is it thinks that you are stupid. Another prime example of them doing this same thing, but in a vastly different context, was in last week's episode. The episode opens with a scene that I actually thought was quite good, because for the first time ever, the show was being subtle. And it is this.
Minha coelhinha. Não tire.
Amazing. That's a good scene. It has been edited just a little bit to shorten it and to avoid copyright crap. So it's a bit quicker in this example. But what that scene did is it took one line of dialogue and visual storytelling to establish world building. This is a prime example of show, don't tell. And it's not hard to understand. You get the information through context clues. They are going to do a battle where people will die, and so the elf plants seeds before the battle, giving the line, "Life in defiance of death." Nothing needs to be explained here. That's clearly an elven tradition to honor life before a battle. And it's kind of cool. And it doesn't hold your hand. Until halfway through the episode, when they explain it to you, just in case you're too stupid to not understand. For the first time ever, the show did a good thing, and then immediately ruined it by having Arondir do the same thing, but then spend 10 minutes talking about it.
The Alfred seeds.
It is a tradition among elves. Before the battle begins, plant one.
We already knew this!
New life. In defiance of death.
You've already said this! Why do we need to see this twice?
It's believed that one of the Valar watches over
So
our things.
slow. I had to speed it up, or I don't know
Those
what
who
would
temper.
happen to my mental health because I can't watch this scene one more time.
The rest, we shall plant after the battle is over. In your garden. You and I. In the oak. Together.
You get it? You see? You get it, guys? That's, they're kissing next to the well, which was the first scene where we saw them. It's poetic, I guess. So that's it. That's all this video is. I hate this show. Amazon thinks that you are stupid, and it is so funny to see how far Amazon is willing to go to silence dissenting voices by blocking negative reviews. I don't understand what they're doing. I don't understand how they think they're going to get away with this, or that anyone is going to watch season 2. But peace out, and be sure to subscribe. There's a new Devoid of Logic video coming tomorrow. I'm going to have to stay up all night to finish. Bye.